good to finally meet you, get a chance to sit down with you. We're actually in your home turf now in Spain. Does it feel good to be back in Spain?
Yeah. Thank you for having me. First of all, it's always a pleasure to have an opportunity to help the people, in this case, AIK fans, to get to know me a little bit better. And absolutely, yeah, it's always nice to, more than being back home. I was around for the last 4.5 months at home. Something unusual in the last 11 years. It's nice to be in a good place to train with quality, to establish the pillars for the season, a lot of important things that will guide us to the beginning of the season. And yeah, so far so good. So happy to be here with the boys.
Did you consider taking some time off after your last assignment? Some coaches take some time off to study, develop, think about the next move, or were you eager to get started again?
Probably not ready to start immediately.
Yeah.
Football is it's an interesting world. I think that I got a couple of offers on the day I was fired in Ali, actually.
Wow.
And offers continue coming after that. Most of the offers I didn't even consider like an option. Was not an easy thing to finish my time there in Ali the way it happens. And personally, I need some time for me to reflect on, all this, not only in Ali time, also the last part of the season in Pirates, that movement to Egypt, the World Cup, the emotions, the lack of, I don't know, skills and patience to make that project to work. So I rather to stay a little bit more time with especially having more time to be with my daughter. She's only 6 years old. We didn't have so much time with her during the last 2 years, and it was an excellent opportunity for me to fix that, to be a little bit more, a father during that time. And I'm so happy for having that opportunity. Studying, watching games, doing reflections about our methodology, what we did right, what we did wrong. It's an excellent opportunity that usually as a coaches, we don't have the luxury of having that time, for us. So a good time for me, definitely.
Yeah. And you said there were some offers that you didn't even consider. What did Jeremy and Fredrik and everyone tell you about AIK that got your blood flowing?
Many things, multiple things. The opportunity, first of all, to be back in Europe in a competitive league and in a club who's doing the things in the right direction from my point of view. I had an opportunity to look at the project, the ideas behind why me, why we're sitting here now talking, why José Riveiro coming to AIK, the values of the club, the city, the fact that what AIK achieve or not has meaning for a lot of people. There's a lot of fans behind. I used to say all the time the same thing, but it's the truth. I think it's not about one league or other league. It's about how many people is, suffering or enjoying football with you. And I think AIK is one of those clubs that matters for the fans, for a lot of people. 35,000 spectators average, I think, the last season tells a lot about about the support that this team is getting. The opportunity to work again with not only with good players, also players with hungry to do something special, to improve the history of the club. To say patience and stability in football maybe is too much, but that's what the club transpire, when we speak about project and medium long-term project. And obviously after a situation that was a little bit not traumatic but uncomfortable for me in my last challenge, having the possibility to come to stable place to do my job, understanding at the same time that I'm a football coach, and it is what it is. We need to perform, we need to get good results, we need to progress, we need to improve things, players, teams. I think this is right now the right place for me.
I've heard coaches before say that if the club has an explanation for why me, that's usually a good sign for the coach that, okay, I'm a good fit for this. That's the kind of thing that a coach wants to hear. The coach doesn't just want to be asked, why should we pick you? But here's our presentation for why we want you. So what did AIK tell you that they saw in you and what you had done that made you feel like, okay, you did the research?
Definitely makes sense. What the club is looking for when they look into the future of this squad and the future of the club, with the way I see the things, the way I understand football, the way I understand the development of the young players, the way I understand the brand of football that we should play, the way of understanding each other roles, my space, other people's space, the tone in the discussions, in the dialogues, and stuff like that. And the fact that they really know me. It's not like, just because they want to, makes me feel that they do. It's real. They know me very well. They know what I can put on the table. They know my strengths. They know my weaknesses as well. And together we're going to try to make this team stronger day after day.
My theory is that you bring three things that the team really needs, maybe more than three. But I think you bring the ability to develop players, looking at what happened in Pirates with players going to the national team, etc. So developing the potential of players. A different kind of leadership maybe than what the club had before. A leadership with more trust and maybe more empathy and a different kind of atmosphere to the squad. And then obviously perhaps the most important, being able to bring more of an offensive kind of game, to dominate games, etc. I think those are the three things that I would have at the top of my wish list from the past few seasons. And based on what I've been able to read about you or listen to in interviews and see the documentaries about the Orlando Pirates and so forth, it seems that you have been able to prove yourself in all those three areas.
Thank you. Yeah, maybe. I think, I don't know. It's always difficult to speak about myself. I just try to be transparent. I try to be a leader who is inspiring more than forcing things, which is difficult. It's not there's no shortcuts, There's a lot of things to do to make it possible. I try to respect a lot the nature of my job, which is serving the players, basically, together with my coaching staff. I don't like the spotlight. I don't like the conversations going around me or about the coach. I rather the conversations to go about the players when they're doing well, especially, obvious. Support them, help them to find a way to get the best out of them, the best potential, because we all are going to get benefit of that. Me as a coach, the club, everybody around, and leading them as a humans, not only as an athlete. They are athletes, obviously. They are professionals. They're getting paid for that. But behind all of those things, there's a human, and to manage that human, in my opinion, something we can discuss, it's more important than anything else. And I was always lucky enough to find the right environments and the right people most of the times to be myself. That's what I try. You get exhausted if you pretend to be somebody else, or I try to be a different type of leader. So I try to be myself all the time. I try to tell the players the truth. I do. I do each and every day, dedication. I dedicate myself to the team with responsibility, and that's the way I try to be, kind of a figure for them, a mirror, and again, inspire more than forcing things.
Yeah. Let's get tactical for a second. Let's talk about tactics. From what we understand, AIK wants to play kind of a hybrid between the style of play called full control and direct domination. So what does that look like? What does that mean to you, the kind of style of play that the aim is here?
Well, the brand of football we want to see on the field, and the way we want the people to identify AIK, it's simple and is complex at the same time. Proactive football, looking for the goal, looking for the box, not speculating with the opportunity to attack and to spend as much time as possible in the half of the opponent. The way we want and we will arrive there, it's going to be through control, but at the same time, as a coach personally, and like the club wants to play as well, we want to be fast in what we do. Like I said, not speculating so much with the opportunity when you have the opportunity to progress. So usually when we think about Spanish coaches, the possession, it's coming, it's always on the table, and it's true. It's the kind of a football school that we have from not long time ago. We're talking about style that is coming from 20-25 years ago, no more. But at the same time, I don't like possession like an objective, more like a way to go to the spaces where you want to go, and then together try to, like I said before, spend as much time as possible in the half of the opponent and control the games there. And that requires not only a lot of work, obviously now in pre-season, it's also for everybody to accept the risk of that, the uncertainty sometimes, sometimes mistakes as well, obviously. But together we try to reduce the risk of what is coming with that. But I used to say, and the players know already, I don't like speaking so much about game model and stuff like that. It's more about the way that we're going to articulate some scales on the field, because although we want to control the games, we have to accept that it's not going to be possible all the time. So we need to know and be confident when we cannot do it, when we don't have a good day, or when the opponent is better than us. But one thing is to be better than us and control us, and other thing is to beat us. That's what we want to be, consistent in a way that even if we have a bad day, we can be competitive and we can get the result, because at the end of the day, sooner than later we are going to be that team.
Yeah, and you mentioned the there's almost like a cliche that Spanish coaches is like possession, low risk, low pace, just massaging the ball for minutes at a time.
Well,
But the football has changed. You don't see much of that anymore. Even the most possession-oriented coaches, they have a direct element in their play now, right?
and maybe in 20 years we'll be back to possession based. This football is about cycles. I think now we're going through a period where this can be a long discussion to say what is more attractive or less attractive for the fans and for the players as well to play. But the conditioning of the players is taking a big role. The analysis of the teams, the game plans, the fact that we know our opponents so good, and the opponents will know us at the same level as well, is making the games a little bit more predictable till somebody do something unexpected.
Yeah.
I'm not counting mistakes. Mistakes are playing a role as well when teams are scoring goals or having chances. But that individual factor is playing a big role right now in football, in my opinion. And the set pieces. I think if you have a look of the Premier League right now, which is the benchmark in the world, set pieces is getting more and more important. It's making the tempo a little bit slow now. Sometimes they're stopping a little bit too much the games because throwing set pieces is taking time to be prepared and execute. Arsenal, I think, is in a 25% of goals this season in set pieces, which is something huge, but the average in every team is increasing. So that tells about how equal the games are nowadays in Europe.
Yeah, you have to find the edges in the set pieces.
Exactly. So the aim is to score one more goal than the opponent, and that balance between one team and other, it's making the games, like I said, a little bit predictable till Lamine Yamal gets the ball, for example, and all of a sudden somebody's on the floor and the sky is open, or you have a set piece and it's well executed, and you have that capacity to score a goal.
Some kind of pattern interruption, basically.
Yeah. And then the duels. There are some moments in the games that, especially again in the Premier League, they must be doing something else. They have 5 teams in the top 8 in the Champions League just a few days ago. That's not by chance. And there are moments in the games that duels and runnings, these running competitions are playing a big role. And that's the way that football is played right now. We are about to start, not to start, but the World Cup is coming very soon. And usually the World Cup used to establish a little bit the style of playing that is going to be trending, in the upcoming years. So let's see with what kind of football is taking this time the credit.
We're noticing some patterns during the trainings here at the preseason camp. We're noticing a lot of focus on passing play, a lot of focus on attacking play, a lot of focus on short passes, short distances between players, a lot of players in a small space, and a detail that I haven't seen before, which is cutting the corners of the pitch, so it's more of a diamond shape. You can't move towards the corner flag. You have to move in the direction towards the goal. What are all these things for? What are we hoping to accomplish here?
Well, you're right in a way that we will try, at least in the beginning. Then the teams are going through different spaces during the season, because again, we will analyze each other, we will try to counteract each other, and then you must become a little bit flexible in your approach, that you can also, I can give you, a little bit of this today and a little bit of something different tomorrow, in order to be better than the opponent. But there are some principles in the team that we want to make our own principles in the way we want to play football and express ourselves on the field, and the passage through the central corridor, and like you said, the accumulation of players around the ball is going to be something that it's something something that is going to be easy to recognize by the people that will be watching our games. Controlling, and when I say controlling is I'm talking about accept that we are going to lose the ball. We play in football. It's very complex. We play with our feet. We're going to lose the ball many times, like every team in the world. And the key is that you're ready for that loss. You can only be ready when you are close to each other.
Yeah.
So that distance is that balance is going to play an important role for us to survive going through that way of playing football. Hopefully we manage to dominate the games through the possession, but football, I think football is the only sport that you can win the match without crossing the halfway line even. It's possible through the rules. So you can be a team without possession, without XG, without XA, and win the match.
Yeah.
So the history is full of games every year that you say, they didn't deserve the loss, right? We don't want to be that team. We don't want to say we deserve to win, but we couldn't. But obviously in the beginning, it's something that we all need to observe with a team that is changing now, to a different style, to a different football, that we know is not going to be a straight line. There's going to be up and downs. And it's important for us first, but also for you guys as football fans to not only look at the result, to analyze if we are getting close to win, even when we win, because sometimes you win and you don't know how, So if there's many times that you win and you don't know how, eventually you have the points, but the rain is coming. You understand? You better get your umbrella because it's coming. And the other way around. Sometimes you don't get the result, but you can see that something is about to click. And that's when you have to really support and push the team forward together because it's going to happen.
How much do you try to move things in the direction of your ideal football from day one versus taking more of a pragmatic approach in the beginning and not trying to do everything at once? Because it seems like there are coaches that are dogmatic in their way of playing, like this is how I'm going to play, and I'll go down with the ship if it doesn't work, and I'll do it from day one. And then there are coaches that are more gradual. They feel like they can't really tilt the team in the full direction that they want it from day one. Where do you balance, or where do you sit on that spectrum?
I consider myself flexible and versatile in a way that there's no, we cannot, every people is free to do whatever they want, when you are coaching especially. But dogmas in football, I don't think it's a good idea. There must be an adaptation. Now, myself, I'm coming from Africa after, 3.5 years there. It's a different environment, a different culture, different people demand a certain type of football as well. There must be an adaptation from you as a coach because your fans are asking you for certain, type of football. And they, for example, there, it's not only about winning. It must be entertainment as well. The Orlando Pirates, for example, they're not going to be happy playing 4-4-2 and getting a 1-0 at home in a corner, and then it's all about, like you said, possession and low block and stuff like that. People is not going to be happy. You must, stimulate them a little bit more. And that's what I think, that's what I believe, that there must be an adaptation from me in this case and the coaching staff to get close to the resources that we have, first of all, in terms of the ability of the players. You cannot ask the players to do things that they are not willing to do, they're not capable to do. You must find their strengths and find a way, to make sure that they can play together. It's not about one or two players, it's about all of them playing together and playing for each other. And without changing the mentality and the main principles, But then if we don't have a speed, we cannot play transitions or not so good. So, there must be always an adaptation between many different things. And one of those things is the coach, obviously, they didn't sign me here because they want me to be dogmatic.
Yeah.
And whatever happened, go through my own playbook, and even if I'm crashing, every week against a wall, continue pushing. Is not about that.
One of the biggest discussions amongst the fans and the experts and everyone has been how much AIK struggled offensively last year, and how much they struggled offensively last year with the offense.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you envision AIK playing the attacking part of the game for the 2026 season? What can we expect of the attacking? What should we be looking for?
Like I said before, the objective, the aim, what we wish is to be capable to dominate the games through the ball. Okay. A high percentage of possession, hopefully. There's going to be games with teams that are going to discuss with us about that possession. Other teams will allow us to have even more possession than usually. And a team with capacity to dominate the spaces, with a good understanding of what the game is asking to do. But again, vertical, with control. When I say vertical, don't think about dividing balls and stuff like that. It's more about looking for a certain advantage that we are looking for in our patterns till we find it, and then we can be fast and deep, like not speculating with that opportunity. Like I said in the beginning, that's the football that I like to see. Aggressive in the pressing, ready to lose the ball, accepting that we are going to lose the ball. And when I say accepting, it's because we're going to be ready to lose the ball.
And play with certain risk.
Of course, yeah. And then, risk.
Yeah.
But there's a risk, but it's a risk under control, in a way. And like I said, proactive in the defensive phase as well, capable to defend in big spaces, in big distances, and as far as possible from the goal. And consistent, that's the key, that you have the capacity to replicate your best performance or a good performance week in, week out, and not, like I said, the moment that we click, that we find a way, find that consistency that is going to make you be in the top positions.
Do you prefer a more of a systematic approach to the way you play the games, or do you want to rely more on the creativity of the players to make things less predictable?
It's a combination, I think. I think there's some certain aspects in the game that we have more influence as a coach, and there's a part of the game where the influence belongs to the players, totally. So a combination of that. There are phases in possession that we can affect more in terms of strategy and guidance to the players. But there's a moment that the player must make a decision in a short space of time and short space as well. We try to coach them and train them to make good decisions with a little bit of time. It's part of our methodology as well. But the talent, the determination, and the skills, it is the most important in this sport. It's the most expensive, and that's for a reason.
Yeah. In terms of formation, there's been a lot of discussion about what kind of formation we can expect to see. Today, a formation is not usually one formation. It's a hybrid between many different formations, depending on if you have the ball, if you don't have the ball, what area the ball is in, and so forth. But what kind of a formation do you prefer? Has it changed over time based on contexts you've been in and so forth?
It could be. It doesn't matter so much. Again, it's more about how many center backs you're going to play, or how many nines, or how many midfielders, perhaps. That more than, can be that we playing with two center backs, but we look playing like 3-4-3, for example, in attack. It's gonna be depending on what the opponent is asking as well, with their approach and their positioning, and what do we need to be the first line of pressing, and the team is gonna look different from one week to the other. But usually I used to start, if we speak about systems, from 4-2-3-1. But like I said, there's always an evolution in the setup. You cannot press high in a 4-2-3-1. You must loan more players from the last line to the line in front, and then again, depending how the opponent is pressing you, the shape is gonna look totally different. It's more about, again, roles and the specificity of the players that you have on the field. There's players that they are nines and that's it, there's nothing else. And there are nines that can be playmakers, can be tens, or can, you understand what
Yeah.
So that's what I like, to have players with capacity to play more than one or two roles in the team, so adaptable to the circumstances that we are looking for. We try to respect the structure that we want on the day, but not much about who is where, and that's the way I see the picture, and I see football more than 4-3-3 or 4-4-2.
Yeah. I spoke to Mika Takula the other day, and I asked him about if your style of play had changed over the last few years. And he said in the beginning in Finland, you were more of a deep build-up kind of coach, and then over time has gotten added more and more direct elements to your play. Is that because you see football heading in that direction, or did it depend on what kind of team you were coaching, or what brought you on that kind of tactical journey?
Evolution. Again, once you stay for a while in the same league with the same team, I think we have an obligation to constantly, without forgetting your principles, your main ideas, the core of your understanding of the game. But at the same time, we must be more flexible, like I said, become a little bit unpredictable for the opponent, put the opponent in troubles when they are studying you and making in the end of the day, we as a coaches, we have to work a lot every week to prepare one game. Trust me, we do. We do. So we want the opponent coach to work as much as possible as well, to keep him busy, and not having clear, okay, AIK is 4-3-3, and 95% of the times this is a star 11. Unless somebody is injured, this is what's coming. Because then you must be extremely superior.
Yeah.
You understand? To impose week in, week out.
Even though you're predictable, you're so good that they can't stop you anyway.
Exactly. It happens with some teams in football history. We all know those teams till, suddenly it's gone. And so that's why then there's other teams that is the other way around. Everybody knows I'm a Celta de Vigo fan as well. It's the team from my city. I work there. Is a team of my heart. And that's the other way. It's a team that it's almost impossible to know who's going to play. Claudio, the coach, can change from one game to the other 5 players, 6. Go from back 4 to back 3. So it's unpredictable. And that's something that complicates a lot the opponent to understand what's going on and your game plan And it's, in my opinion, is one of the strengths of that team. And they're doing so well in the league. They're doing well in Europa League as well. And I think one of the reasons is that capacity to be unpredictable. So for me, it's about to find a balance, between your principles, your main ideas, but also a component of, fooling a little bit, the opponent that you're going to have in front tomorrow.
But that takes time, right? Before you can develop that.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. It must be something that we all have to internalize and accept, and starting from the players as well, to accept that role, that I'm out is not an easy thing. It's not that easy in football world. I think it requires some, a specific moment of that club, that team, etc. But what I'm not trying to say we're gonna be like that. What I'm trying to say is that component of something unexpected for the opponent, at least is gonna give you a time in the games that some windows will be open for you to take that advantage, and you take it or not. And it's the other way around. There's gonna be some things from the opponent probably that we didn't expect, and that will open a couple of windows for them as well. And it's about us to be quick, to correct, to adjust, to counteract or not, so that's football.
Yeah. When it comes to developing young players, what do you consider to be the most important part of taking a young player from somebody that just has potential to go into full bloom and develop into the player that they could become?
There's nothing for me to consider more important or the most important. I think it's important to be accurate when you choose the players from the academy to the first team. There must be a method, let's say, a plan for the players to know, okay, now is the moment, an agreement. Of course, we're not perfect. You can sometimes, for whatever reason, it's not working. Not because the player doesn't have the potential. Sometimes it's other, external factors that are not helping to the boys to make it. But for me, if the player has the talent, and it's something that you can notice immediately in the training when they train with the first team, you can see you're capable to play. How can I say? The difference between leagues is the time.
The difference between leagues is the time.
Yeah, the time you have to think and execute.
Okay.
There's no more difference.
So the pace.
Yeah, in Premier League, let's say in Premier League you have half second, and maybe in South Africa you have one, or in Allsvenskans you have one. Okay, so if I put you to train in a Premier League environment, you have half second. If you can make it, then you are a Premier League player. If you don't, you're not. Just to summarize, okay? So it's the same with our youngsters. Once they come to the first team environment, you can, not easily, but quite all right, to recognize if the player has the capacity to perceive, think, and execute in the right frame of time as a center back, as a midfielder, or as a striker. And then it's about you to. There's always deficits, obviously. When the 26, 27 years old, they still have deficits.
Deficits, okay.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, our experienced players, not mine, all around the world, they're still making mistakes.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't know why, when a youngster make a mistake, we immediately say that the mistake is because they are young. You understand what I mean? It's like, no, they don't have experience enough. No, maybe, that's not the reason behind the mistake. There's many, possible reasons.
People make a quick assumption that it always has to do with age.
Or if you are too old,
Yeah.
you make a mistake. It's the other way around. We are all the time, doing, how do you say,
Yeah,
assumptions. Or,
yeah, making assumptions or
Yeah.
drawing too quick conclusions.
Exactly. And obviously, when you play a 18 or 19 years old player for the first time in the national stadium with 40,000 spectators, maybe there's a moment that the boy is gonna shake a little bit, you
Yeah.
know, if he misses one pass or one first touch, and we need to encourage that player to do it again. And there's gonna be always school fees to pay from us, but like I always said, and at least from my experience is the truth, what you get from your own players, your academy players, your own product, it's something that you cannot get from anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's not in the market.
Yeah, they're willing to die for the badge.
Correct. And those players are they make sure that nobody is sleeping in the trainings, that nobody sleep during the week, because they pushing hard, they hungry, and for me it's something that it's a huge active and capital for the team. So talent, and everybody must be committed with that talent to be brave enough and put them on the field, even if they make one mistake or two.
Do you also have to build it into the group that there's an understanding for mistakes that can happen, even from the older players, to have an understanding of the younger players being part of their development? Is it a group culture kind of thing as well?
We're getting there. We're trying to create that culture, that high performance culture, performance culture, to establish how do we want the people to look at us, what kind of team do we want to be, what kind of football do we want to play, and it's easy to talk. It's about the way we're going to make it consistently every day, and we have to protect that environment and that culture and protect our youngsters. I think it's a responsibility of all of us, the coach, the players, the experienced ones especially, and allow me to say everybody around the club as well, including the fans.
Yeah, because it's a very demanding environment. I know. I mean, I heard you in the other interview you did the other day talking about how Orlando Pirates has 30 million fans and Al Ahly has 100 million fans. So you've been in demanding environments before, but it is kind of an unusual position for a 17, 18-year-old young man to be in, to have those kind of expectations on your shoulders. So yeah, it probably needs to come from within the team as well, that there's somebody to back you up when you miss a pass as a center back and the opponents win the ball and they score a goal.
Correct. Yeah. Like I said, we all have to protect that players, because if they there is for a reason. I mean, nobody's putting a gun on my head to play an 18 years old boy, or there must be a reason for us to say, it's your moment, it's your time, let's go and do it, And I think the youngsters also have to look outside and look players like I think Lamine Yamal is a good example. I think he has his debut with Barca with 16 years old. He won the Euros with Spain with 17. I mean, I know it's not frequent, but it's possible if you have the talent and you have the skills and you have the proper support around you.
Yeah. Did you have any kind of football coaches as role models that you looked up to before or today, or anyone you pick inspiration from?
I think there's many. I'm lucky that in my country, I think we have a fantastic school of coaches in the top. I mean,
yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, again, you look at Premier League. There's Pep. There's Arteta. We have Unai Emery. I think is an example for every coach coming from the bottom almost as well, and making an impact in each and every team where he's coaching and making his teams extremely competitive. But also I have a lot of role models in lower leagues, people that I have the opportunity to work with them, to spend a lot of time talking about football years ago, to go to games, to change ideas, to change reports to people that no one knows, but for a coach like me, for a person like me, played a very important role in my development as well, in my understanding of the game and the coaching. So I don't have a role model as such that I can tell you, no, my idol is my hero is this one or that one. I don't have that kind of idols in my life.
Do you see anyone in the European leagues now doing something interesting that you're curious about continuing to study and you think is kind of different?
Europa League?
Yeah, in either of the big leagues or in the European tournaments.
Funny enough, it's been like I said to Morten the other day that I was looking at Bodo for the last 3 or 4 years.
Bode Glimt?
Yeah, like something curious to have a look. I have a friend who was my assistant as well that it's crazy about every league in the world, so he knows every team, and he used to tell me this team is playing this football. So I was curious about Bodo a long time ago, watching some of their games. I think they have a nice way of understanding the game as well. Who else right now?
Iraola in Bournemouth?
Who?
Iraola in Bournemouth?
Yeah, yes. I think it's also a good example of the influence of the coach in one team, definitely. Extremely difficult team to play against. I think no one is comfortable playing against them. So this football world it's so big. Right now we have access to almost to each and every game around the world. So I used to, like I said, I'm only a Celta de Vigo fan, logic. I'm not Barça or Madrid, like I think 90% of Spanish population. But then I try to follow some coaches that I like to see what they do, how they progress or not progress, more than clubs or logos or, titles.
Yeah. Well, Jose, it's been great getting a chance to sit down with you. The first time. I'm looking forward to having many more conversations. And I just want to wish you once again warm welcome to AIK and best of luck in the season.
Thank you so much. And it was nice to be around. I'm here anytime you need it or you want. And just take the opportunity to say hi to our fans, to your listeners, and hopefully we will start to enjoy games together in Stockholm.